Hey, what's up guys? Today I got a third-person shooter kit that I made. If you look to the left, you can see there's 4 types of ammo. The bar with the 0 in it is money, and the 2 buttons down there are to indicate that you can use those buttons to switch between weapons. X is a melee attack. When you break open the chests, you get a bunch of money and like 1 ammo thing, which will increase the gold ammo to 100, the red to 10, and then the blue and dark to 1, because they're kind of ridiculous powers. X is to switch to the melee attack. I just said that. The camera is a little wonky. You can put restrictions on it so you can't like spin it around and stuff, but it works for today's purposes. There's a lot going on in this kit, so yeah, so we're gonna look at this map as well, but I had to make projectiles and save them to the library with the multi-tool because of glitchiness in another map. So we'll review all of this map and then we'll go see what I did with the projectiles, but let's show off the guns real quick. Alright, so to switch guns you use the D-pad, but you can also hold right bumper to make the pace 0, that way you can like stop and switch between weapons. It might be more helpful in the game. But let's start with the gold ammo weapon, which, because of the way the camera is, you can't really see it. I'll show you those when I go over them. But it shoots like a basic pistol, and it shoots camera forward, and it's not that strong. That's why you have a lot of ammo. The blue, which a lot of this is inspired by Ratchet and Clank, and this one is like the turrets that you can throw out, and this was fun to make. But you can like actually make these turrets, so then they shoot here. Let me come here, guys, over here. So yeah, there's the blue. Then there's the dark gun, which you see all of those enemies at once. Kind of like a Tesla kind of thing. And then this one's really short range, but it reminds me of the idea was like a morpho ray, so it turns enemies into squirrels. Hey, you know, squirrel. Okay, guys, there's a lot going on in this kit, so let's start with the smaller stuff and work our way to the player and the guns, which is the big stuff. This is a spawn point, basically. Yeah, we'll go over that. So let's look at the chests first. Basically, their properties, combat, their health is 1, and whenever health is less than 1, which basically means 0, they're set to break. They work like the boxes, because I started with a crate, and then I just switched the mesh over to a chest, and then changed the health properties. But basically, when health less than 1, it will create an object that I made in the other map, like I was explaining, which is just built to follow the player with a trail on it, and it's made out of the silver bar, and it creates this at its position, so at me, or at position me, and I just had to do this a number of times. That way there's a lot in the chest, and then there's a different object here which it creates, which is the ammo crystal from the other one. So we'll get into those after we go over everything in this map. So let's take a quick look at the weapons. Again, all the weapons have, when they're not equipped, the position equals the logic cube that's above them, just so you know that they stay in one spot. As far as the chainsaw, it always has power on, so it's always running. That one's simple enough. Okay, so there's a lot of noise in my house. I hope you can't hear too much of it. Let's look at the blue gun, which I added some attachments to them and changed up the color and made the attachments of the guns not collidable. That way they don't interfere too much. Just so you know. But basically, this one, its position when it's not equipped is at the logic cube. Same for this. Same for this one. And same for this one. The main things I changed with the guns are simply properties, like the way they shoot, just so they work better. You can mess with properties however you like, but let's get into the main pieces here. Let's look at the camera first, because this is what makes the camera different. It constantly has a first-person camera without controls. It displays a crosshair, and I made it white because there's color codes for the weapons, and I wanted it to be kind of neutral. And I scaled it down to 0.25 and put it goes in the middle of the screen, obviously. So display, coding, crosshair, white, scale 0.25, screen center, because that's the targeting system, and yeah, so it should work pretty good. And then the player over here is super complicated. So once it starts up, team equals 1. I messed with the health meter here. I just switched it to health meter, that way it looks a little cooler. Left stick to move. When A pressed, jump. I made sure X didn't do anything right here anyway. Yeah, this is pretty much just the stuff that comes with the main player right here. Again, I got rid of the invulnerability with the dodge, or the dodge. Alright, so it constantly turns the way the camera is looking. So on line 15 is turn camera quickly, or turn camera forward quickly rather. Left stick to turn, that way you can turn with the left stick, obviously. The right stick makes the camera, again in world object, pitch, so it goes basically up and down. When he's toast, countdown timer counts to 5 because he doesn't get destroyed when toast. So countdown timer 5, me position equals, and then the logic cube, which is his respawn point. And it revives him as well at that point. So that's where you start. Here's where things get pretty complex. I know I just said a lot. Once the cash, which is the money counter, equals 0, and once the gold ammo equals 0, when gold ammo less than or equal to 0, gold ammo equals 0. That way you can never go past 0. That's just in case of. Once red ammo equals 0, and again for the red ammo, when it's less than or equal to 0, it equals 0. Same with the blue ammo, same with the dark ammo. It's the same thing for all of them on that part. This is the display in the left, which is display cache left top, with medium fonts, basic panel, and then I colored it white. That's the cache counter. And then display gold ammo, screen top left, extra large fonts as blue counters. And then I changed the color to gold. Well, it's orangish, but I'm calling it gold. But basically these are just the symbols. The as blue counters are symbols, so it's displaying that symbol except it's a different color. And it does this for each kind of ammo, and it's always top left, that way they kind of stack downward automatically. At 42, me bump crystal shard, destroy it with effect pickup, and then it also will play everywhere the sound codite pickup, and when you basically it's picking up the crystal, and so this crystal provides you with ammo. So your gold ammo will go up by 100, so gold ammo increasement 100, red ammo increasement by 10, blue ammo increasement by 1, and dark ammo increasement by 1. That way your ammo goes up properly when you collect that item. Now when me bump metal bar, destroy it with effect pickup B. Pretty much the same thing as the crystal shard. It will play a sound everywhere, so play everywhere. UI collect coin. And then the cash increasement by 25. So the cash will go up by 25, which is the money. Okay, so this is where I put the X button. When X pressed, you will equip the chainsaw. Again, the in-world objects, the weapons are in-world objects. So you'll equip the chainsaw. When you D-pad up direction, meaning you press up on the D-pad, you'll equip the gold gun, which is an in-world object. The basis of which I use for is the Astro Blaster. It's basically the pistol. And you do this for all of these. All the guns, you assign them to a D-pad direction. So, and this is also display X screen bottom left and display D-pad screen bottom left. They automatically stack, and it's just to indicate that you can use those buttons. Alright, so when the chainsaw is equipped and you press right trigger, so chainsaw equipped and right trigger pressed, you'll do an attack, and if you keep pressing it, you'll do this combo, so attack, light, medium, heavy. It's the same thing down here with the X button. When the chainsaw is equipped and you X button pressed, you'll do the same thing. And when you're attacking, so when you're basically swinging your chainsaw around, it'll play sound everywhere, and it'll be weapon, chainsaw, attack, light, so it's like alright, so here's where things get a little, well, not so complex, I guess. Okay, so basically these all work similarly, so I probably shouldn't have to go over them all. But right here, basically when you shoot this particular gun, when this gun is equipped and right trigger pressed and gold ammo is greater than or equal to 1, that way you can't shoot if you don't have ammo. In fact, I could code it to the point where it's when it's equal to 0 and it tries to shoot, it would make like a ant sound indicating that you don't have ammo. But let's focus on this right now. So Astro Blaster equipped and right trigger pressed and gold ammo greater than or equal to 1, then again you have to go to the Astro Blaster as an in-world object each time. So Astro Blaster shoot, not the player. You want to make sure that the actual Astro Blaster shoots. And then this is an object that I made in the other map, and we'll go over all of those. But it will shoot camera forward. That way you can shoot in all kinds of directions. And without targeting, that way it shoots forward no matter, if you're close to an enemy or not, it won't automatically follow them. But you could do that too if you wanted it to shoot with targeting, just don't put without targeting. So when it shoots, it will also gold ammo decreasement by 1. So it will decrease your ammo as you use it. Pretty much the same thing for all of these. And there's a little bit more, not much. Right bumper, the world pace equals 0. So when that's held, world pace equals 0, and the visual filter equals something different. You can put it to anything, but I just made it saturated. That way you can tell you're holding the button. Probably should make a sound too, maybe. I don't know. And then the right bumper, when it's released, the world pace will go back to 1. That way, everything starts moving again. That way, obviously it indicates that you're done with it. And then the visual filter will also go back to default. Or whatever one you had on that map, you can put that to. And that's pretty much it for this one. Alright guys, so here's the projectile room, I guess, and the pickup room. These are programmed to just fly towards you because in the other part of the kit, or the main part of the kit, the player will destroy them and they'll count as a collectible. Here they just kind of do that. What you just saw disappear was the turret. And here's the other rounds here. So we will, you saw the turret round burst away. But let's take a quick look at how they're all programmed and why. Alright, so let's first look at the turret. Over here, the turret basically when it sees an enemy, it shoots it and it will turn towards enemies. The bottom of it is, I think I have it set to character and properties as far as physics type. That way it always goes bottom first. And then I had to save this object in the library so I could use it with an actual projectile. So let's quickly take a look at the gun and then we'll, yeah, so let's look at that. Once team equals 1, just to make sure that it's on the player's team, it will turn towards all objects, goblin, bruisers, that way I can use the goblins as the main enemies. You can also have it do that towards any objects you want. And then the next line is, when me see all goblin bruiser, shoot at it, meaning that whenever it sees a goblin, any goblin, which is the all objects part, it will shoot at it. I don't remember if I did anything for this. Yeah, this is the main piece that everything's attached to, so the countdown timer will initiate once it's spawned, and it will stay there for 20 seconds, and then it will destroy itself with the effect of the arcane explosion. And then if you come over to right here, which is the blue weapons projectile, basically once it's spawned, it will equal your team. But the countdown timer to 5, in case it doesn't land on something, it will burst and create. So it will create the turret that I saved at its position, so at position me, and then at the same time it will destroy itself with the arcane explosion. And it basically does the same thing for when it bumps terrain. Alright, so we have the red ammo. As you'll notice for the ammunition, I have them all as balls, but the balls are not visible. That way you only see the sprite, because if you try to program a sprite with the code, I find it doesn't work very well. So let's look at the balls, and then the sprites are attached to the balls. So yeah, so team equals 3. I changed the team because I found they try to walk towards some of the projectiles, if I recall correctly. Team really doesn't matter too much if you do things right. I usually just put these here just in case. So when me bump goblin bruiser, destroy it with effect berserker start, and then it will also create squirrel. So it makes it look like it turned into a squirrel, and then it destroys itself. So here's the dark projectile. Again, it has its team or whatever. So me detect goblin bruiser, shoot spark captured, so it looks similar to its own color, at them. So it shoots it because it's them and not it. It won't go one by one. It will select any of them that it detects and it will blast at them. So it looks like it's splitting off into little pieces. Gold ammo, nothing, because it's supposed to be a very simple gun, the one that you get the most ammo for. And these two are very simple. So let's just take a look at one. When me detect player, move towards it with flying directly, so it basically flies towards the player, and then it has a trail on it. So yeah. Let's show you how the turret looks when it's actually turning around and moving and stuff. We'll just drag some of these guys over here. Alright guys, that's about it for this kit. I hope it was helpful. I got a big inspiration to do this based off of, or a big inspiration from the Ratchet and Clank series, which is one of my favorite series of all time. If I had to say my favorite video game series of all time, would definitely be Ratchet and Clank. I know it's had some games that a lot of people don't like. I haven't got to play every single installment because, well, I ain't got no freaking money, basically, but every game I've played, I've loved. I have seen a few where I'm like, I don't know if that'll be good, but I haven't played those ones. But the point is, freaking love that series. That was a huge inspiration. Whenever I do a shooter with this kit, any kind of shooter project, that's basically the inspiration. So thank you guys for watching. I hope it helped. From what I'm seeing, there's not a lot of people who are interested in Project Spark anymore since it's been shut down, and that kind of sucks. So if anybody is, and anybody knows people that still use Spark, yeah, I don't know. Just it's a great thing, and I don't know. I think there were a lot of people that didn't even know about it, and it would have been great for a lot more people. But Project Spark was amazing, and it still is. I don't know if you can still download it. This is just still on my Xbox, so I have no idea if you can still get it. I think you probably should be able to, but I don't know. But I have an idea. I think I'm going to make a full game, kind of like an old school platformer, similar to like Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64, stuff like that, with a hub world and levels that you can explore that aren't so linear, collectibles, and like just really fun old school platformer thing. I'm going to try to make it look really unique and original, using this engine. And I don't know, I think they could bring Project Spark back if they allowed you to upload your own assets and stuff, or build your own assets, or added like full model creators and editors and basically 3D modeling systems or characters, or even like a mixture of like a 3D modeling system and an auto rig system, just so you can make your own games from scratch, and then it could be even sold as a real engine. I don't know, I think they just take a lot of tweaks on this one even to bring it back as its own like legit engine. But either way, it's amazing, and I'm glad it was a thing. And I mean, technically it still is, you just can't upload your stuff to the servers anymore. So thank you guys for watching.